next week, next month, next year. It's always later, isn't it? You tell yourself you'll start when you have more time, when things settle down, when you feel ready. But let me ask you, when has that moment ever magically arrived? When has life ever stopped throwing distractions and obstacles in your way? The truth is, you're not waiting for the right time, you're waiting for an easier time. And that time doesn't exist. Waiting feels safe, it gives you an excuse, it lets you stay comfortable, but comfort is the enemy of progress. Every day you delay, someone else is out there getting better, getting stronger, and getting ahead. You're either moving forward or staying stuck. There is no in between. So stop lying to yourself. The perfect moment isn't coming. The only moment you have is now. What you do with it is up to you. Look at your life right now, be honest. Does it look any different from last year or the year before that? You wake up the same way, follow the same routine, make the same excuses, and then wonder why nothing ever changes. Let me tell you something, if nothing changes, nothing changes. You're not stuck because life is unfair. You're stuck because you keep making the same choices, following the same patterns, and expecting a different outcome. That's not bad luck, that's bad habits. Think about it. Every successful person you admire had to break out of this trap. They had to rewrite their routines, challenge their own thinking, and do what was uncomfortable to create something new. So if you want a different life, you have to break the cycle. Change your habits, change your decisions, and watch how quickly your world transforms. It's easy to blame. Easy to point the finger at your circumstances, your past, your luck. But let me tell you something. Blame changes nothing. Life isn't happening to you. Life is reacting to you. Every action, every choice, every habit, it all adds up to the results you're living with right now. You don't like where you are, change what you're doing. Because the moment you stop blaming and start owning your choices, everything shifts. You take back control. You realize that your future isn't decided by excuses, it's built by effort. So stop waiting for change. Be the change. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your biggest prison. And for most people, it's the latter. You say you can't. You say it's too late. You say you're not good enough. But those aren't facts. Those are just well-rehearsed lies you've told yourself over and over until they feel true. What if you stopped feeding yourself limitations? What if, instead of excuses, you built beliefs that pushed you forward? Because here's the truth, your thoughts dictate your actions, and your actions shape your reality. Change your mindset, and you change your life. Everybody wants something, a better job, a stronger body, more success. But let me ask you, are you actually wishing for it? Or just wishing it would happen? Because desire means nothing without discipline. Wanting change is easy, everybody wants to improve, but how many people actually show up every day and do the work? That's the difference between success and failure. Winners don't sit around hoping, they commit. They push through discomfort, they take action even when they don't feel like it. So stop waiting, start working. Close your eyes for a second, picture your life 5 years from now. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten. That dream you keep pushing aside, still untouched. That goal you swore you'd chase, still out of reach. That version of yourself you know you could become, never realized. Because nothing changes unless you change. Regret doesn't hit you all at once. It creeps up day by day as time slips away. And one day you wake up and wonder why you never did more, why you never became more. So ask yourself, are you really okay with that? Because the only way to guarantee a different future is to start acting differently today. Your future is in your hands, but only if you're willing to take control. Comfort feels good, doesn't it? No risks, no struggle, no pressure. But let me tell you something, you're not avoiding pain, you're just delaying it. Because while you're choosing what's easy, something else is happening. Your ambition is fading, your energy is draining, your purpose is slipping away. And one day you wake up and realize that comfort has cost you the life you could have had. You see, growth is uncomfortable. Success demands sacrifice, and the people who win in life, they don't chase comfort, they chase progress. They're willing to be uncomfortable now so they don't have to suffer regret later. So ask yourself, are you really living or are you just existing? Because every day you choose comfort over growth, you trade your potential for an illusion, and by the time you realize it, it might be too late. Growth is uncomfortable. Waking up early, pushing through failure, stepping outside your comfort zone. It's not easy, but let me tell you something. Regret is unbearable because pain is unavoidable. Either you suffer the pain of discipline or you suffer the pain of knowing you never even tried. And that second kind of pain, it lasts a lifetime. Think about it. How many dreams have died because someone was too afraid to take the first step? How many people wake up every day looking in the mirror, wishing they had started sooner? Yes, growth hurts, but regret, it eats at you. It keeps you awake at night, it follows you everywhere. So the choice is yours. Will you struggle now for a future you're proud of, or will you take the easy road and live with the weight of what could have been? Let me ask you something. Would you notice if your dreams were slipping away, or would you slowly adapt to the decline until one day they were gone? There's an old story about a frog. If you drop it into boiling water, it jumps out immediately. But if you put it in lukewarm water and slowly turn up the heat, it won't notice until it's too late. It cooks itself alive. That's exactly what happens in life. You don't wake up one day and decide to give up on your dreams. No, it happens gradually, one skipped workout, one missed opportunity, one excuse at a time, and before you know it, years have passed. Your goals, forgotten. Your potential, wasted. See, people think danger comes in big dramatic moments, but the real danger, it's comfort. It's the slow, steady decline that you don't even notice until you're trapped in a life you never wanted. So wake up. Recognize the heat rising around you, because the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to escape. Let me ask you something. Are you spending your time or are you investing it? That dream you wanted to chase, that version of yourself you know you could become, all of it depends on what you do with your time right now. Because time is the one thing you can't get back. Money, you can earn more. Opportunities, they come and go. But once today is gone, it's gone forever. So stop waiting, stop wasting, start investing. Because your future depends on it. One day, you'll look back at today at this exact moment. And when you do, will you be proud of what you did with it, or will you be filled with regret? Because no matter what happens, time will pass. The weeks will turn into months, the months into years, and eventually you'll stand in front of the mirror, forced to face the truth. Did you give it your all? Or did you let another day slip through your fingers? The choice is always yours. Every second, every decision, it all adds up. So what will you do with it? Will you keep waiting, or will you start acting? Because the future version of you is watching. Make sure they're grateful for what you do today. One moment, one choice. That's all it takes to shift the entire direction of your life. People think change happens gradually over months or years. But real transformation, it starts in an instant. It starts the moment you decide enough is enough. The moment you stop making excuses, stop waiting for the right time, and take control. Think about it. Every success story, every great achievement, every personal breakthrough began with one simple decision. The decision to start. The decision to push forward. The decision to refuse to be the same person one more day. Maybe you've been stuck, maybe you've been waiting, but let me tell you something. You are one choice away from a completely different future. One decision to commit, one decision to act, because the truth is, your life isn't changed by chance, it's changed by choice. And the power to make that choice, it's in your hands right now. So what will it be? Because this moment, this decision, could be the one that changes everything. A tiny push, that's all it takes. One small movement, one small action, just enough to tip the first domino, and when that happens, everything in its path falls into place. This is how momentum works in life. Most people think change requires massive effort all at once, but that's not true. The biggest transformations always start with something small. A single workout, one difficult conversation, 5 minutes of learning a new skill. At first, it feels insignificant, too small to matter. But that first domino, it doesn't just fall. It sets off a chain reaction. One action leads to another. One win gives you confidence for the next. One habit turns into a lifestyle, and before you know it, your entire world has shifted. But here's the thing, nothing happens until you make the first move. No momentum, no progress, no change. The first domino has to be pushed. So ask yourself, what's the small action you've been avoiding? Because once you take that first step, everything else starts falling into place. The hardest part isn't finishing, it's beginning. Push the first domino and watch the rest follow. Look at the most successful people in the world. The ones who went from struggling to thriving, from ordinary to extraordinary. They didn't start with guarantees, they didn't have all the answers, but they had one thing: the courage to make a bold decision. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first television job. She could have quit, could have accepted failure, but she chose to keep going and became one of the most influential figures in history. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers. She could have let doubt win, but instead, she chose to believe in her story. That one choice led to a billion-dollar empire. Every great success follows the same pattern. Commitment first, results second. People who wait for proof, who wait for signs, never start. But the ones who choose to move forward, even when it's uncertain, they create their own proof. So what's stopping you? What's the bold decision you know you need to make? Because the people who change their lives don't wait for permission. They don't wait for guarantees. They take the leap, and then they build their wings on the way down. Make the choice. Step into extraordinary. Right now, at this very moment, you stand at a crossroads. Two paths stretch before you. One leads to excuses, the other to action. And the decision you make today will shape the rest of your life. You're always one decision away from a completely different future. One choice to commit, one step forward, one moment of courage. But here's the problem. Most people hesitate. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow, that they need more time, more motivation, more certainty. And every day they wait, the road to action gets harder while the road to excuses gets easier. Think about it. How many times have you said, I'll start next week? How many times have you let fear or doubt hold you back? The longer you wait, the harder it becomes. Momentum works both ways. Either you're moving forward or you're falling behind. So I'll ask you, what are you waiting for? The perfect moment? It doesn't exist. The only moment you have is now. Excuses or action? That's your choice. One path keeps you stuck. The other leads to the life you've been dreaming of. So step forward. Make the decision that changes everything. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. Most people get stuck waiting for the right time, the right conditions, the right mindset. But let me tell you something, waiting is a trap. There will never be a perfect time. There will never be a moment where everything feels easy and clear. The only thing that matters is this: are you willing to take the first step? Think about it. What's the one thing you've been avoiding? The one action that deep down you know would move your life forward? Maybe it's making that phone call, writing that first page, committing to your health, facing the fear that's been holding you back. Whatever it is, stop overthinking. Stop talking yourself out of it, because nothing happens until you move. The first step is always the hardest. But once you take it, something incredible happens. You build momentum. You break the cycle of hesitation. You prove to yourself that you can do this. So make the decision right now. Take the step. Because your future doesn't begin someday, it begins today. You say you want to change, but deep down, do you really? Because here's the truth. Your past self doesn't want you to grow. It wants you to stay exactly where you are. Every habit, every belief, every pattern you've built over the years has created an identity, a version of you that feels safe. And the moment you try to break free, your mind fights back. This isn't you. You've always been this way. What if you fail? Sound familiar? That's not reality talking. That's your past self trying to pull you back into what's comfortable. Not because it's good for you, but because it's familiar. So your mind clings to what it knows, even if it's keeping you stuck. That's why so many people stay the same year after year. They don't just fear failure, they fear becoming someone new. But listen, growth means letting go. It means choosing who you want to become, not just accepting who you've been. So ask yourself, are you holding on to an old version of yourself that no longer serves you? Because until you release it, you'll always feel trapped by your past. Change isn't impossible, but you have to be willing to let go. Your comfort zone isn't just familiar, it's a trap. Most people think they're afraid of failure, they're not. They're afraid of the unknown. They're afraid of what happens when they step into something unfamiliar, something that challenges them. Because the moment you leave your comfort zone, you lose control of what happens next. And that terrifies people. But let me ask you, what has your comfort zone ever given you? Has it brought you growth, confidence, success? No. It's only given you more of the same. And if you're not happy with where you are, that means your comfort zone is the problem. Think about every great achievement in history. Every person who changed their life, they all had to take a step into the unknown. They didn't know exactly what would happen, but they moved forward anyway. Because of that, their entire world transformed. So here's the truth. You can stay where it's safe, where it's predictable, where nothing changes, or you can step into the unknown and create something new for yourself. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it's uncertain, but everything you want is on the other side of that fear. The only question is, are you brave enough to go after it? A snake that refuses to shed its skin suffocates under its past. Think about that. It doesn't get to hold on to what's old and outgrown. If it does, it dies. Now look at your life. How much of the weight you're carrying isn't who you are, but who you used to be? The doubts, the fears, the outdated beliefs, the version of yourself that played small, made excuses, and let fear win. You say you want change, but are you really willing to let go of that old skin? Because reinvention isn't about adding more to your life. It's about removing what no longer serves you, shedding the patterns that keep you stuck, releasing the identity that holds you back. But here's the hard truth. Most people would rather suffocate under their past than face the discomfort of growth. Don't be one of them. If you want to step into your potential, you have to be willing to shed who you were. Because the strongest version of you isn't waiting to be created. It's already there underneath everything you refuse to let go of. The question is, are you brave enough to release the old and step into the new? Your past doesn't define you. Your next decision does. So why do you keep dragging around the weight of your old mistakes? Why do you keep replaying failures, reminding yourself of everything you did wrong as if that's all you'll ever be? Listen to me. You are not your past. You are not your worst moment, your biggest regret, or the mistakes you wish you could take back. That version of you doesn't exist anymore, but the longer you hold on to it, the longer it controls you. Think about the most successful people in the world. Do you think they never failed? No, they just didn't let failure define them. They used it. They learned from it. They made the choice to stop looking backward and start focusing forward. Because that's the difference between people who stay stuck and people who rise. The ones who rise forgive themselves. They stop living in their old story. They break the chains of the past and step into a future they get to write on their own terms. So the question isn't, can you change? The question is, will you allow yourself to? Because the only thing standing between you and a new life is your willingness to move forward. You don't wait to become the person you want to be, you act like them now. Most people think transformation is something that happens later. That one day, when they have more money, more confidence, more success, they'll finally become the person they dream of being. But that's not how it works. You don't wake up one day different. You become different by choosing to live as that version of yourself right now. Ask yourself, how does the future you think? How do they move? What habits do they have? Who do they surround themselves with? Now look at your current reality. Are your choices matching the life you say you want? Or are you stuck in the same patterns, waiting for something to magically change? If you want a new identity, you have to rewrite your beliefs. Stop telling yourself you're not ready. Stop surrounding yourself with people who hold you back. Stop feeding the habits that keep you stuck. The future you isn't some distant fantasy. They already exist. They're just waiting for you to step into them. So stop waiting, stop doubting, start acting. Because the only way to become the person you want to be is to be them today. Motivation is a feeling. And you know what? Feelings come and go. This is why most people never succeed. They wait to feel ready. They wait for inspiration, for energy, for some magical moment when everything clicks. But successful people, they don't wait. They act regardless of how they feel. Because motivation is unreliable. Some days you'll wake up fired up and ready to go. Other days you'll feel tired, unmotivated, and full of excuses. And if you only take action when you feel like it, you'll never get anywhere. Disciplined people succeed because they show up, whether they feel like it or not. They don't wait for motivation to strike. They create systems, routines, and non-negotiable commitments. They understand that progress isn't about feeling good, it's about staying consistent. So if you've been waiting to feel ready, let me be honest with you, you'll be waiting forever. The secret isn't motivation, it's momentum. The more you act, the more you build discipline. The more disciplined you become, the less you rely on motivation. So stop waiting, start doing. Because the people who win aren't the most motivated, they're the most consistent. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. Everyone has goals. Everyone wants to be successful, fit, wealthy, or confident. But very few people build the habits that actually make those goals inevitable. Because success isn't about setting goals, it's about what you do every single day. Think about it. If you rely on motivation, you'll only work hard some days. But if you create non-negotiable habits, you'll make progress every day, whether you feel like it or not. When you get in shape, make working out non-negotiable. Want to grow your business? Make learning and action non-negotiable. Want to change your life? Stop making excuses and commit to the daily actions that move you forward, because here's the truth. Your habits are who you are. They dictate your future more than your talent, your luck, or even your goals. So stop waiting for the perfect plan. Stop relying on motivation. Build systems that force you to grow. Make success a habit, not a hope. Because at the end of the day, you won't achieve what you wish for. You'll achieve what you consistently do. Successful people trade short-term comfort for long-term success. They understand a simple truth. Everything great takes time. But most people don't want time. They want now. They want results without effort, success without sacrifice, rewards without patience. And that's exactly why they stay stuck. Look at the world around you. Distractions are everywhere. Social media, junk food, mindless entertainment. Everything is designed to give you instant gratification, a quick dopamine hit, a moment of pleasure. But here's the problem. What feels good now often steals what you want most. If you want to win in life, you have to train yourself to resist the easy road. You have to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term success. That means saying no to distractions, avoiding shortcuts, and staying focused even when no one else is watching. Because the best things in life, wealth, strength, knowledge, mastery, don't come overnight. They come from years of disciplined effort. So ask yourself, are you chasing instant comfort or lasting success? Because you can't have both. The world rewards those who are willing to wait, work, and persist. Master delayed gratification and you win the long game. Discipline isn't about intensity, it's about showing up every single day. Most people think success comes from big dramatic moments, but it doesn't. It comes from small, consistent actions repeated over time. The workouts you don't skip, the extra hours you put in when no one's watching, the daily habits that seem insignificant until one day they add up to something massive. The difference between winners and quitters isn't talent. It's not intelligence or luck. It's relentless consistency. The ability to show up, even when you're tired, even when you're unmotivated, even when you feel like nothing is working. Look at the greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders. They don't rely on bursts of motivation. They commit to the process. They put in the work every day, knowing that results come from accumulated effort, not one-time inspiration. So if you're waiting for the right time to be consistent, stop. The right time is now. Show up, do the work, be relentless. Because small efforts done consistently will take you farther than intensity that fades. And in the end, it's not about how hard you can go, it's about how often you do. You don't see results after one workout, but you don't quit either. Nobody expects to go to the gym once and walk out with six-pack abs. Nobody lifts weights for a week and wonders why they're not a champion bodybuilder. Because we all understand that strength takes time. It's built through persistence, repetition, and patience. Yet when it comes to success in other areas of life, business, learning, relationships, people give up when they don't see instant results. They expect one day of effort to transform their entire life. But success doesn't work that way. Every rep in the gym strengthens your body. Every time you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you're reinforcing the habits that lead to real growth. You won't see the impact of your efforts right away, but over time, the results will be undeniable. So treat success like strength training. Be patient, be consistent, and trust the process. Because the ones who win aren't the most talented or the most gifted. They're the ones who keep showing up day after day, rep after rep, long after everyone else has quit. Prove to yourself that you can be consistent. Pick one habit, just one. Something small but powerful. Maybe it's waking up earlier, reading for 10 minutes, exercising daily, writing down your goals. Now commit to it for 30 days. No excuses, no skipping, no waiting for motivation, just action. Because the biggest lie we tell ourselves is I'll start later, but later becomes never. Start now, prove yourself right. Fear doesn't stop you from failing, it stops you from even trying. It whispers in your ear, filling your head with doubt. What if you fail? What if people judge you? What if you're not good enough? And just like that, your dreams never even get a chance to exist. Fear keeps people trapped in mediocrity. It convinces them to play it safe, to stay in their comfort zone, to settle for less than what they're capable of. And the saddest part, most people listen. But let me ask you, what's worse? Trying and failing, or never knowing what could have been? Because failure isn't the enemy, regret is. Failure teaches, failure strengthens, failure pushes you forward. But regret, it stays with you. Every successful person you admire had the same fears you do. The difference, they didn't let fear decide for them. They felt it, acknowledged it, and then moved forward anyway. So don't let fear kill your dreams before they even begin. Because the only thing worse than failing is looking back one day and realizing you never even tried. Remember being scared of shadows as a kid? A dark figure on the wall looked terrifying until someone turned on the light. Suddenly it was nothing. Just an illusion. That's exactly what fear is. An illusion. Your mind creates worst case scenarios, exaggerates risks, and convinces you that failure will destroy you. But when you actually face your fears, you realize they were never as big as you made them out to be. Think about a time you dreaded something, maybe a difficult conversation, a big decision, or stepping outside your comfort zone. You built it up in your head, convinced it would be awful. But once you did it, it wasn't nearly as bad as you imagined. This is how fear works. It distorts reality. It makes things seem impossible when in reality they're just challenges waiting to be overcome. So the next time fear creeps in, ask yourself, is this real or is this just a shadow on the wall? Because when you turn on the light, when you take action despite the fear, you'll see the truth. Fear only has power if you believe in it. Stop giving it that power. Fear isn't something you eliminate, it's something you overcome. And the only way to do that is to take action despite it. Here's how. Step one, take action despite fear. Fear shrinks when you face it head on. The more you run from it, the bigger it grows. But the moment you step forward, when you do the thing that scares you, you realize it wasn't as terrifying as you thought. Every time you take action, fear loses its grip. Step two, reframe failure as learning. Most people avoid risk because they fear failure, but failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of it. Every mistake, every setback, every loss is just data. It teaches you, strengthens you, and prepares you for what's next. Stop seeing failure as the end, see it as a lesson, because every setback is just a setup for a comeback. Step three, stop overthinking and start doing. The longer you hesitate, the stronger fear becomes. Overthinking creates doubt, and doubt paralyzes action. The only way to stop the cycle is to move. Don't wait for the perfect moment, just start. Even if it's messy, even if you're unsure, just take the first step. Because fear only wins if you let it. So don't let it. You can let fear control you, or you can take control of fear. The choice is yours. So ask yourself, what's one fear that's been holding you back? Maybe it's the fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping into the unknown. Whatever it is, name it, acknowledge it, and then ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Chances are the worst case scenario isn't nearly as bad as your mind is making out to be. In fact, the real danger isn't in taking action, it's in staying stuck. Because every day you let fear win, you lose an opportunity to grow, to improve, to become who you're meant to be. So here's your challenge. Face it today. Take the first step, no matter how small. Have the conversation, start the project, step outside your comfort zone. Because fear only has power when you avoid it. Face it and watch how fast it disappears. Your life will stay the same unless you decide to change it. No amount of wishing, hoping, or complaining will change your situation. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten. That's not bad luck. That's your choices. Every excuse, every delay, every hesitation, it's all keeping you exactly where you are. You say you want more, but what are you doing to make it happen? You want success? Work for it. You want confidence? Build it. You want to change your life? Change your habits. The truth is, your future isn't decided by chance. It's decided by you. Nothing changes until you do. So stop waiting for life to magically get better. Make it better. Because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to finally take control. Most people wait. They wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, the ideal time to start. But let me tell you something. That moment, it never comes. Waiting is just another form of quitting. It's the most dangerous lie you can tell yourself because it feels harmless. You're not saying no, you're just saying not yet. But days turn into weeks, weeks turn into years, and before you know it, you're looking back wondering where all that time went. Successful people don't wait. They don't wait until they feel ready. They don't wait for the stars to align. They start where they are with what they have, and they figure it out along the way. So ask yourself, what have you been waiting for? Because later is an illusion. The only time you actually have is now. Stop waiting, start moving. It's now or never. There is no middle ground. You either take action today or you stay exactly where you are. That's it. No more excuses. No more waiting. No more pretending like tomorrow is guaranteed, because it's not. Every great success, every transformation, every breakthrough begins with one decision. The decision to stop talking and start doing. The decision to stop letting fear, doubt, and hesitation control your life. The decision to finally take ownership of your future. Because here's the truth. You can change or you can stay the same. But you can't do both. So what's it going to be? Keep dreaming, keep delaying, keep wishing? Or step up, commit, and make it happen? The choice is yours. But remember this. If you don't make a move now, you may never make it at all. The only thing standing between you and your goals is action. So what's it going to be? Keep waiting? Or finally take the step that changes everything? Your future is watching. Your time is now.